first question I want to get into because I see this question come up a lot, and not just on my podcast, but just as a general in life as well. Someone did ask this, but the question is, how can I identify my purpose? And I feel like this is a big question that a lot of people in today's world are trying to figure out. And I'd love to hear your perspective and answer on this.
Awesome. I'm actually just about to launch an online training on this because we get the same question probably 6, 7 times a week on average. I think it's pretty common. But look, it's not that you've got to find your purpose. It's just you've got to clear away all the shit that's not your purpose. So I have different beliefs around most of the coaching and personal development industry or the psychology industry. I think most people are trying to find something because they don't realize that they are already the thing. And what I mean by that is, like, I really believe that everybody's successful because if you watch a young child is highly adaptable. They're resilient. They figure stuff out. They are really open and willing to learn, but they like to learn certain things. Not every child likes to learn the same thing. But then we go to school and we get told what we have to learn. So I get put in a mathematics class. I don't like maths. It's not my thing. I wanted to learn how to build engines, and I wanted to figure out how things work, and I wanted to go learn geography and biology, and I wanted to go play sport. But I got told I have to sit in a classroom and learn mathematics. So when I do that, I get a report card. The report card comes back. My mum looks at it, or my parents look at it. They go, "Why are you doing bad in school?" And so they start projecting their values onto me because my mum has a high value on learning. Now, that's probably because my mum was 17 when she had me, and she had to pull out of school. My dad, not so much. He dropped out of school when he was a teenager. So based on my mum's insecurities, she then projects them onto me because the thing that she never got to do was to go to university. Yet all her brothers and sisters did. So that creates a void and an insecurity in her own life. So now she has a child and she thinks, in order to give my child the best in life, the best thing that can happen is that he gets a good education and goes to university. But that wasn't the thing that I wanted to do. And instead of looking at the child and saying, how do we help them to be the best that they can be based on the values that they have? Most parents try to deal with their own insecurities by projecting what they think is best onto the child. Now, that's because they care about the child, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. And I think every parent is trying to figure it out, and no parent really knows how to parent, right? Because every child's different. Throughout different stages of the child's life, it adapts and changes. My parents are still trying to figure out how to deal with me. I turned 40 this year. So, every parent's trying to do their best in some way, shape, or form. It's just no one really knows what that looks like. So over time, we get all these projections of school teachers saying, you need to do this, you've got to do that. You raise your hand, you say, can I go to the bathroom? They say, no, you need to sit still. And so over time, you start to confuse your own value, your own purpose in life, your own mission. And so then it becomes really confusing. A young child knows what it likes. Like my nephew, you say, don't go outside. It's raining. 2 seconds later, he's outside playing. Why? Because that's what he wants to do. Now, I'm not saying that that's the right thing. It's just that he just does what he loves. Now, he can sit down and play with my niece. So my niece loves coloring in and drawing, and she's very artistic. So she goes and changes her clothes 5 or 6 times, while we're there for a couple of hours. So she's very self-expressive. Whereas my nephew, Jordan, is completely the opposite. He sits down and starts coloring in, and 2 minutes later, he's either starting a fight with his sister, or he's outside playing, or he's building something. So he's already expressing his values. But once again, parents come along, they say, I need to sit down and do this because, I'm on a phone call or I'm doing something. So then the child starts to adapt its behaviors, and it needs to do that as well because children are very impulsive, and it needs to learn how to govern its impulses because as adults, we can't just do whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want, because that leads to an erratic human being. So that's what starts to happen. But over time, the child loses itself. And most people who come to our events or they message me or they're part of our community, they'll say something like, how do I understand my values? How do I find my values? How do I understand my life purpose? I'm not sure on what my mission is. I get that, but that's everybody. Almost every human being doesn't know what their mission, purpose, and values are very clearly. Now, some do, but most people don't. And when we're talking about values, we're not talking about kindness and honor and respect. They're social idealisms. That's not 100% correct. They're based on a field of study called axiology. They're physical, tangible things that we're trying to achieve in life. And so that's what we value. Our values are directly related to what we value. Now, everybody on the planet values kindness, but the question is, what does that mean? So is looking after your health and fitness, is that valuable? Now, some people say yes. Other people go, I don't give a shit about that. Some people say education is important. Other people go, I don't care about education. It's not important to me.